That's crazy to me. I mean, Mom, I mean, that would be like dad hitting you. That would be crazy.
Well, yeah, it would be crazy.
I had a couple.
He'd be dead.
Welcome in, everybody. We are here with two of the greatest divorce lawyers in the world. I don't know if that means a lot to you guys, but if you're going to get divorced, these are the people for you. But no, they're two of the most well-known, well-educated, renowned lawyers in the country. And I have the privilege of being the son of one of them and talking to them here today. And I get to ask you regular people questions, dumb stuff that we want to know. So without further ado, let's get into some questions about should I divorce him? You're dying to say something.
The major thing that we both believe in is that you do everything that you possibly can to keep the marriage, to make the marriage work, and only then get divorced. So should you divorce him? If you're thinking, should you divorce him? The answer is no. If you have to think about whether you should or you shouldn't, it's time to work on the relationship.
Unless there's domestic violence. That's the only exception. If there's any kind of domestic violence, I think that you have to go ahead and get yourself out of that situation or any kind of violence towards your children.
And if you think that he just said, I'm sorry, and he's being nice this week, it's going to happen again and again and again. It's never going to stop. You have to get out of the situation. We're in total agreement on this.
Boy, yeah, we got into domestic violence really fast there. That was zero to domestic violence.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does it happen a lot? I mean, I feel like it's like this thing that people used to do in the 50s that I don't really see,
Unfortunately,
I've never seen anybody really do it. Like I've seen people yell at their wives in public, or like I have seen women hit men in public. Actually, that's always weird. I saw the woman at the farmer's market this weekend who just punched her husband really hard, wow. Not in the face, but in the chest.
Oh my God!
But in an angry way. And that was the first time I'd ever seen that before.
Domestic violence goes both ways. I have had men who have come in whose wives have been violent with them, and they just slough it off. But it is nothing to be sloughed off. The last case I had, the wife threw a chair at the husband. Threw a chair at the husband. And he finally...
Did it hit him?
Finally. Yeah, it hit him.
I feel like that's an important...
finally got a restraining order, and it was just terrible. And it was just the culmination of years of abuse.
He must have been really hurt, and also she must have been very strong.
When you get angry,
sorry,
you get stronger. I mean, building yourself up and screaming and screaming.
I mean, the big thing I'll tell you about domestic violence, I spent a year in the domestic violence unit back when I was a prosecutor, and it crosses all different kinds of racial, socioeconomic bounds. You'd be very surprised.
Like rich people are hitting each other too?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And
absolutely.
It's just hidden, and it's terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very terrible.
It does kind of, I will say, it does kind of feel like the stereotype is I have not seen rich people hitting each other.
Oh, they do.
Oh, they do.
Themselves?
Yeah.
Yep. And they just hide it and hide it and hide it because it's too humiliating when you get into the stratosphere.
Wow, that's crazy. So, wow. So.
And Leah happens to be a fabulous criminal lawyer. She represents the entire spectrum of the ultra wealthy, not only their divorces, but also in white collar crimes. She's fantastic.
Thank you.
Mom, we gotta keep the salesiness down a little bit here. Can't sell everything. I mean, in your experience with these ultra wealthy,
yes,
do they're evil people and they just go home and just get ready to hit?
No, it depends on the couple and the situation. So 2 of the cases I can think of just off the top of my head, one was extremely wealthy and the husband was very physically abusive of the wife to the point where she had black and blue marks and other stuff that she was trying to cover up. And she was trying to keep her family together and didn't want to get divorced. And they had been married a very long time. These were a much older couple in their 70s.
Oh my God.
This was going on.
He was hitting his 70-year-old wife?
Yeah. And he'd been doing it their entire marriage. And it was on and off. And he was a drinker. and he'd go off on these binges. And when he was angry about something that went south in business, or if he drank too much, then he'd hit her.
That's crazy to me. I mean, it's because Mom, I mean, that would be like dad hitting you. That would be crazy.
Well,
yeah, it would be crazy.
I had a couple.
He'd be dead.
I had a woman in her 80s that I helped get divorced, that the husband was becoming demented, but apparently he had also hit her on and off during the marriage. They were more of a moderately wealthy couple. Mm-hmm. And we found out during the marriage that he had sexually molested their 2 daughters as well. God. It was terrible. But the good thing that came out of it, we got them divorced. It was a whole to-do. He ended up with a guardian afterwards and then died. But she reconciled with her daughters. So that was the nice thing that happened out of all of it.
That is good. Guys, I'm trying to keep it light and fun here. This is a tough one.
But I had another case where they weren't married. Oh, wait, let me skip that one. I had another case where they were married and we were handling restraining orders in Florida, very high net worth. The client would take his jet and come visit me in Florida all the time. And the wife in that case, who was tiny, was hitting this guy.
Oh, she was hitting him?
Oh, she was hitting him. Whoa. She was mean. She was very mean. And she had a very solid prenup that she had signed, and she was trying to egg him on so she could get out of the terms of the prenup and get around it.
Oh.
And
because if he had hit her, would have violated something.
Exactly.
She'd get money.
Exactly. And she'd have cause to go ahead and divorce him. So she kept trying to egg this guy on and egg him on. And he's such a lovely man. And he absolutely never retaliated. And quite frankly, he was just so in love with her. And that's why he waited so long to file. Wow. And he'd been with her for so long, not marriage number 1.
Wow.
So, fortunately, he didn't have any kids with her, so he could just move on with his life. But lovely man and terrible situation. And he's a big guy, and he was also very worried, and rightfully so, about what would happen if he even just pushed her away to stop her from hitting him.
That the guy at the farmer's market who I saw get punched earlier from his wife, she was a small wife and he was like a really big guy. Is that kind of the MO for that situation?
Yes. I see a lot of women that are very angry and have these Napoleon complexes.
Interesting.
So.
Wow. At the beginning, it was hard to believe when the man would come into me and he would tell me that his wife was abusing him, and
what do you mean? Why was it hard to believe?
Because I guess I had a sexist attitude or understanding that it was men who committed domestic violence, not women.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking to yourself, like they come in and they're you're just like, well, why wouldn't you just stop them because they're smaller than you?
Yes. And what would happen is they would call the police and he would end up in jail because even the police wouldn't believe that it was going on, except, of course, for the bruises. If it's just he said, she said, he gets arrested. If there is actual proof, then the police are on it.
Yeah, usually with the women, a lot of them scratch the men, so there are scratches. So people have to document that, take photos and all that. And then the people will believe them. But it happens a lot more than people believe.
Shoosh.
It's really sad.
It is sad.
You also see it in a lot of same-sex couples as well, where they're violent with one another.
I mean, most divorces don't have a domestic violence element to them, right?
No.
Maybe 10%.
10%?
I would say closer to 25%.
What?
Yeah.
It's that common?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes the domestic violence has happened all along. Sometimes it's after cheating.
Okay. Or it's when they get older and they start to have dementia.
Yeah.
That also is.
So I'm sorry, when people start to get dementia, they start to hit each other?
Men
they start to
get violent.
Get irritable.
What?
And they lose that veil. I wouldn't ever do this veil.
Why? Because they
lose themselves. They just lose themselves. They're losing their ability to act normally and prevent themselves from acting on their anger.
And I guess they just get irrationally angry. They're frustrated. They don't know what's going on and they lash out.
Yeah.
Damn.
And they lash
Can't
out.
really blame them. They have no idea what's going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're losing it, but it's hard. And men, after having like heart operations, you have to get them medication because they also change and the irritability changes.
I think the thing with this is there's probably a lot of people who have very tiny wives and they're bigger guys and they may not think it's such a big, they may not even see it as domestic violence. Is that?
Yes. And they put up with it. They put up with it and it gets worse and worse and worse. It doesn't matter who's the perpetrator. It gets worse and worse and worse. Even a little person, my client was afraid that in the middle of the night that she was going to come and brain him.
Brain him?
Yes. Even if the person is, you go to sleep, you're not looking, she would come at him when he wasn't looking and he was doing something else because she felt entitled to hurt him.
What? I mean, did he get out of there? Is he okay?
Yes, he's fine.
Okay.
He's fine. He's divorced. He's fine. Took forever, but he's divorced.
Back to what you're saying. If you're in this situation, there's not really a lot of wiggle room. If somebody's hitting you, you got to get out of there.
You got to get out of that relationship immediately. The sooner, the better. Because every day that you stay, it's much more likely that they're going to go ahead and escalate whatever they did to you. And there's a whole cycle of violence that you see. After they go ahead and beat you up, they're very remorseful. And then they start with the love bombing. So a lot of people remember how things were before and they don't want to leave and they make them feel guilty. Or sometimes they threaten harm to themselves or to pets. Mm-hmm. That's very common, or to kids. And a lot of the women are very nervous about what's going to happen if they get divorced and they split custody 50-50 with their kids and their pets. And they're not there to go ahead and protect them. So it's very stressful.
They're like sacrificing themselves so that the kids don't have to be alone with the other one.
Correct.
Ooh,
yeah.
Man.
It's rough. But there are things that they can do if they plan and strategize to go ahead and prevent that problem.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting that you were talking about the love bombing element of it, because it's like a lot of times you think like, how can somebody stay with somebody, they must have just this terrible self-image or whatever. But I can see how that could be very confusing if the person is, kind of charming and manipulative,
and remorseful, and they'll do anything for you. They're so sorry. And then it'll never happen again. You have to believe me. I love you so much, and then time goes on and it happens again. It just escalates. So anybody who is going to hurt you is potentially killing you.
What do you mean? You mean like you're just a step or two away?
You're just a step or two away.
People need to know that there are problems and that they can escape and get out of that, and that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And their relationship, their life will be much better afterwards, and their kids' lives will be much better afterwards.
Hopefully this was a good lesson out there, for everybody. And if you're going through it, or somebody else who's going through it, if you're in Florida, obviously these are the two people to call. Call them right away: Denise Isaacs and Leah Mayersohn. But if you're anywhere else in the country, you need to reach out to a lawyer or somebody who can help you immediately, because it's obviously, you're just 1 or 2 steps away from the worst case scenario. I'm here again with Denise Isaacs at Divorce Lawyer Denise. If you have any other questions or want to learn more about how to make sure that you do the right thing for yourself, protect your rights and protect your money. And Leah Mayersohn here. I'll let you talk for yourself, Leah. Sorry.
At Mayersohn Law or at Mayersohn Law Group on socials. And we're happy to refer you to other attorneys around the country if you aren't living in Florida.
Yeah. And so if you are looking to find somebody good, just give us a call and we'll point you in the right direction. Be safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.
Remember, marriage is a contract. Don't forget to read the fine print.